Simon Diamond Soul, here again. And as you see, I'm finally back in the countryside. And it's a beautiful place. But I'll be careful with my camera, it's raining a little bit. Yes, there's rain. It's a rainy weekend. We are Monday. Yeah, there's a little bit of rain, but I'll show you the place. It's very beautiful place. Very beautiful mountain. There's a little pond there, a little bit of water. Anyway, I'm back in the countryside. So today we are Monday the 19th, and it's a special holiday because today it's Victoria Day. And also it's Victoria Day and also the National Patriot Day. So for those who are in Canada, we celebrate Victoria Day, and for those who live in Quebec, we celebrate National Patriot Day. But anyway, since this is a paid holiday, I could come here for 3 days straight. So this is day 3, 3-day trip in the countryside for me, and I came here with my father and also one of my little brother. So the first day we did not do much, but in the evening I did play pool with my father and also my little brother, and the three of us had a lot of fun. And the second day, me and my father and my little brother went into a long walk into the forest. So today is the last day for me here, so I decided to do a new video for you guys. Yeah, today is day 3 here, the last day, and I'm doing a video for you. And it's a nice place to film a video. But enough with the introduction, as I'm here to give you some news and also an advice. And my advice is this: do not ever let anyone drain you from your precious energy ever. And this is an advice that I should also tell myself include years ago, because in 2025 energy is the new currency. But let me explain myself more about this topic, guys, as I do not want you all to do the same mistake as I did in the past. So let's begin. As you know, it's been 4.5 years that I work for my company as a building concierge in a huge building, and I only work in the night shift, and in fact I do 40 hours a week in the night shift, and I have all my weekend off. But today I will tell you a big secret about my job and why I'm not improving so much in my life since the last 2 years. And the reason for this is that for 4.5 years I did work with a difficult colleague, let's put it that way. And that same colleague did drain me of all my energy the last 2 years I did work there. But let me begin with the start of this story first. So first thing first, and here it goes. When I began my first shift in the night at my new work 4.5 years ago, that colleague was already there, and he was the only one who did give me my training there. So at the first look, this guy did look kind and strong and energetic and wise. So I was listening carefully to what he had to teach me, and like I said, at that moment he was being very kind, sympathetic and respectful. And he also told me that this job was easy and without stress. Little did I know about what was about to come. But to make a short story, the first 2 years I did work with this guy, everything was nice and under control, and the work atmosphere was great, as he was still respectful and kind with me. But after 2 years, the dynamic between him and me changed a lot. But before I jump into that, I will explain something. Around the 3rd month of working with this guy, this colleague got a big promotion. In fact, he became the new supervisor of the whole team. So like I said before, the first 2 years with him were great, as he was very good supervisor. He was strong, efficient, supportive, and he was also encouraging the teamwork. So in short words, for 2 years, he was a good leader and he was leading the team like a professional. But slowly but surely, with time, things started to degenerate and everything became worse. But before I jump into that, I just forgot to mention something important. After 1 year working at that place, him and me both got a trophy for the best employee of the month. Because at that time, we were the most hardworking employee at the place. So to resume the situation, the first 2 years with that supervisor, I did learn a lot of new skills because of this amazing guy. But like I said, after 2 years, this guy did start to change a lot, and not for the better. Yeah, it's very raining, guys. I be careful not to wet my camera too much. Anyway, as he was more often bitter and angry toward us, out of a sudden, the supervisor, yeah, he was more bitter and angry. Yes, this guy started to be in a bad mood very often. He started to change a lot too, being angry at us about 3 days out of 5. And what I mean by that is that this guy was in a bad mood way more often than he was in a good mood. And every time I was entering the room where he was, I was scared. Scared because I was not sure if he would start lashing out at me or not. So in other words, this guy changed a lot and he started to have a lot of mood swing. But it was not like that in the first 2 years I was working with him. And not only that, before he was helping the whole team with the work, but the more time passed on, he was doing less and less and he was just giving us orders in an angry tone and he was letting us do all of the work so he could go to sleep. Yes, you heard me right, guys. Me and my other colleague were executing orders and doing all of the job so he could sleep at night. So in the end, he was doing nothing except being angry and bitter and arrogant with us. So he was not a great supervisor anymore. But let me explain to you guys why I was drained so much by him the last 2 years I did work with him, and also explain to you how this guy changed so much. One day the supervisor decided to change his life, as he was finding himself too fat and unhealthy and miserable. So first he stopped smoking cigarettes, then he stopped drinking alcohol, and then he started going to the gym 5 days straight in a week. But don't get me wrong, guys. Don't get me wrong, as this is normally all positive things. But in his case, it did also change his personality for the worse, as he started being very demanding toward me about work, telling me often that I was too slow at my work, and slowly but surely he started putting me down every week. So he started playing mind games with me. In other words, he was boasting himself regularly with the intention to drain me and put me down. So the more he was interrupting me at my work to tell me I was too slow, the more I became slower. And also, he was also comparing himself a lot with me, saying how great at this job he was, but not me. So this attitude and behavior was discouraging me a lot in my work. So in other words, this guy became aggressive verbally, intimidating, boasting himself regularly, and putting me down very often. Sometimes he was telling me bad jokes like shaming my body or my looks, shaming my life a bit, like what I drink, what I eat. He was also shaming me for sleeping too much in my personal free time during the week, saying I had no life. But all of this was none of his business in my opinion. Sometimes he was also yelling at me super loud in certain situations. And this is unacceptable for me. So when he started yelling at me, this is when I did lose all respect for him. So in other words, he was slowly destroying my life. And me, all I did was obey his order while letting him treating me like shit. He was also he had also a lot of mood swing, changing from happiness to angriness in a matter of minutes. And now it's starting to rain more. It's okay. We will do this video. Also, every day I was working there almost, he was showing me picture of his muscular body on his phone, picture of him improving at the gym. And like I said, there's nothing wrong in going to the gym often and improving your personal life. But when you feel the need to impress others with that almost every day, showing pictures, etc., there is definitively something wrong with you. In fact, this guy was starting to have narcissistic behaviors. And not only that, he was starting to be very selfish too, letting me and the others colleagues do all of the work so he could sleep during his night shift. Also, never did he give me any compliment about my work, even if I was giving my all. In fact, I was working very hard in my night shift, and sometimes I was not even taking any break, but that he could not see it, as he was not seeing all of the effort I was doing for him. So he was super selfish. He was only seeing the negative in all I do and mocking me and shaming me and my performance. So you see, guys, do you see why my life was not improving so much in the last 2 years I was working there? Because while he was diminishing me and put me down, he was also draining my energy like a vampire, just to rise himself up at the top, as he was having also a god complex and a super inflated ego. So in other words, my last 2 years at the work there were like hell on earth because of him. That is why I wanted to quit my job in August, because I could not take it anymore. But something happened. One day I decided I had enough of him. So I made a big prayers and asked God to remove him from my life. And God did answer my prayer finally. But it did not happen immediately, as it took some time. In fact, it took around 4 months before God answered my prayer and removed him from my life. Yeah, it took 4 months, but my prayers were answered. So you see, guys, when you hurt innocent people for a long period of time, one day it will return to you. And it did return to him like a giant storm. Now it's raining a lot. What I mean by that is that karma did hit him hard in the long run. And like the famous sentence say it, what goes around comes around. And also everything gets to return. So this is what happened when you hurt innocent people, as I believe firmly in karma. So in short words, what happened is that one day that supervisor yelled at the wrong person at the wrong time, and he also disrespect many employees, including me, during the last 2 years. So what happened is this: people start to complain about him a lot, and these complaints accumulate and were going into his employee file. It was going into his employee file. And one day the supervisor got so many complaints by others employees, so he was finally fired. The big boss fired him. Yes, finally, my nightmare was finally over. My nightmare was over. So now we have arrived at the conclusion of the video. Now I can finally work in peace. Now I can finally breathe. Now I can finally exist to the full extent of my potential. Sorry. So this is the reason, guys, why I was always feeling tired all the time. This is also the reason I could not achieve anything productive in my life. Because I had a giant demon always following me and always at my tail. As this guy was constantly crushing me and shaming me, and of course draining my vital energy. This is also why I could not find the strength to go to the gym recently, as I was too tired and weak to do so. But now my big nightmare is finally over, and now I feel more light. I feel more light and energetic since he's gone from my life. Now I can finally achieve my precious goals at last. So that was my little story, guys. And the moral of the story is this: do not do like me, guys. Do not ever let anyone drain you like this, like I did. Do not let anyone drain your energy. Do not endure a situation like this and just endure the pain. That was my mistake. For 2 years I endured instead of fighting back where I should have. In fact, I should have never endured this. So please, guys, do not endure a toxic colleague or a toxic environment ever. This is my advice. But anyway, now I am finally free and delivered from this demon and from my chain. The chain I let him put on me, and never again will I ever allow that. Never again. Never again will I ever let someone disrespect me like this. So this is the end of the video, guys. Next video should be more positive. Before I end the video, I just show you the landscape. Very beautiful mountain. Yeah, never again will I let someone disrespect me like this and just endure the pain. I don't know why I did that. I should not have endured so much for 4.5 years. This is crazy, but it will never happen again. I will respect myself. Look at that. Very beautiful small river. No, the small river is this way. I'll show you. Yeah, the video is finished. It's a beautiful place. Yeah, I'm glad to have. Yeah, happy Victoria Day, everyone. Happy Patriot Day. It was a nice weekend, but rainy weekend. Look at the river. Small river. Anyway, always stay true to yourself. Don't let the enemy get the best of you, and don't give up on life. Stay safe, brothers. Simon Diamond Soul. See you next time.